Let's unbox the Funko Pop vinyl figure of Anakin Skywalker from the Ahsoka live-action series.
Varykino. If it's Star Wars, we collect it.
Hello there, thanks for visiting Varykino. A couple of days ago I was checking out my local stores hunting for new Star Wars toys, and I came across the brand new wave of Funko Pop vinyl figures from the Ahsoka live action series. I wish I could pick up the whole wave, but I grabbed my two favorites. I picked up Ahsoka Tano in her white Paradia outfit number 749, and of course I had to pick up Anakin Skywalker 751. This is how he appears in the World Between Worlds kind of vision section. He looks like episode 3 Anakin, but you might be able to see he is actually holding a red lightsaber, so that's going to be really different. I can't wait to add this one to my collection. That World Between Worlds segment in the Ahsoka series was just absolutely incredible. I'm so happy to see we're getting collectibles from that sequence. Really happy to have this one. Can't wait to open them up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Coming up really soon, I'll take a closer look at the Funko figure out of the packaging so we can look at all of the details. But first, let's take a quick look at the packaging. This single pop vinyl figure comes in the iconic Funko standard packaging here. We have the Funko Pop vinyl logo here in the top left, the Star Wars logo, and the number for this particular figure, 751. I really like the grey and blue accent color that is used for the Ahsoka live action series. We have a bit of a preview here of Anakin's face, a little bit of costume detail, and the name for this one is Anakin Skywalker. Interesting that we don't have a subtitle here. Nice clear window where you can see the figure inside holding a lightsaber, and of course that window wraps around to the side. Interesting that this one doesn't have a clamshell. We just have those top and bottom clear plastic sections holding the figure in place. We've got a little bit of a preview there of Anakin's face where we can see the scar on his eyebrow. We've also got the name and the number down the side there as well. On the back, again, we have a bit of a preview there of the figure and some of the other figures from this particular Ahsoka live action series wave. Ahsoka Tano herself, Sabine Wren, Anakin Skywalker, and Ezra Bridger. We also have that really cool Ahsoka series star map print here covering over the back of the box with the Ahsoka series logo as well. Over here on the left side is my favorite panel on a Funko box where we have that full all over print here of that Ahsoka series star map. We've got the pop logo and a full view image there of the figure design. We can see Anakin holding a lightsaber that has a red blade, quite unique, and then we have the name and number there as well. On the top of the box we have that little face preview there. We can see Anakin's scar. We've also got the Funko and Pop logos there. The underside just has the barcode and copyright text there. Looks really cool. It is a little bit dark in there, so let's open them up and check out the details. As usual, I'm going to open up my Funko box from the underside and let's pull out the tray. This is always exciting. Here we go. And of course, the insert card for the Ahsoka series is that lovely blue and grey Ahsoka fulcrum symbol. It's really nice. Okay, let's open up the clear tray. This always makes a lot of noise. So we can pull the figure out. Ooh, he looks pretty nice, but I am noticing an interesting flaw on this one. I've got a little bit of extra black plastic here on the base. I haven't come across that before. I'm hoping because that's right on the edge, I'll be able to kind of remove that without leaving too much of a mark. It's a little bit unfortunate, but I have to say, I'm generally much more hopeful that the face is unmarked. I can deal with a few small flaws on body details and things like that, but if the face is nice and clear, then that's what I'm really hoping for. And we've got a really nice classic episode 3 Anakin scar across the eye there. That's looking really cool. And he's got some really neat Jedi tunic details. So let's clear this packaging away so we can take a closer look. After clearing all the packaging away, I took a moment just to see if I could very carefully remove that little bit of extra plastic, and thankfully it did actually come off pretty cleanly. I've never encountered that before, so I wasn't sure how hard it was going to be to kind of make the base look like new, and thankfully that wasn't too difficult. So big relief there. So let's check out the details of the figure itself, starting with the face. So I think this looks really quite cute. He's got the sort of eyebrows there with that scar scar, of course, that he gets during the gap between episode 2 and episode 3, because of course this is his episode 3 appearance with the longer hair. Now sometimes when hair is sculpted on Funko figures, sometimes the hairline between sort of the skin color and the hair paint can be a little bit mixed, and so I can see a little bit of sort of overspray areas around where we sort of get this little cut in on some of the face paint. It's not too bad, and it generally only really is evident when I'm looking up really close up. We've got a little bit of a sort of a spill, just a little bit sort of where the paint goes over a little bit more than it should, particularly around the ears. That side's a little bit worse than this one. This one's a little bit better, and a little bit at the hairline here, but I'm being very particular, looking up very close. In terms of the actual face, it looks pretty clean. The eyes are nice, clearly defined, everything looks good. You know, I do generally try and avoid ones with big scratches or paint flaws across the face, but I will give Funko a little bit of leeway for the hairline, because I do find that sometimes hard to avoid when looking at ones at my local store. There were not very many of this particular Anakin one, and I was thinking back to that episode 3 one that we had the sort of dark side eyes. That one was really hard to find here locally, so I didn't want to miss out on this particular Anakin one. I think it's just so unique. Of course, we see Anakin as he appears in episode 3, but this time his lightsaber is red. Now, because he has a silver emitter, I do believe this is supposed to be Anakin's lightsaber rather than a Darth Vader lightsaber. But interesting that it is red, because of course this isn't, you know, truly Anakin. This is that sort of a vision Anakin, or the one sort of in the Force, in the world between worlds, however you sort of want to define it. It's not sort of Anakin as we saw him in episode 3. And I think this is really unique. It was such a fantastic sequence. I'm really excited to see a Funko figure of him. So checking out his details, of course, we've got a lot of classic Jedi tunic details, where he's got his black tabards over a dark brown tunic, and he's got those really cool details on his Jedi belt. His belt buckle's a little bit hidden here by his sleeve. It's not painted silver. I think that's perhaps just a little too close to where his sleeve is, but we do have those food capsule pellets, silver and gold on this side, silver and gold over here, and we do have those really cool sculpted pouch details there as well. We can see those sort of pouches on the back and on the side here. He does have his little sort of clip there for attaching his lightsaber. Theoretically that should be black, but it's such a small detail. I can completely understand why that would just be brown, the same as the rest of his belt details. Now, of course, he's also wearing his episode 3 glove to cover his mechanical hand here. Some really nice metal details there, painted quite tidily, I have to say. Those silver straps don't go all the way around. They're mostly just sort of there on the front of those sort of buckles there. Very, very cool, and pretty plain here on the back, of course, but of course Funko just has to do the costume details as they appear. They're not going to be adding anything on extra there. I do like the gloss effect, because of course he does wear sort of leather tabards there, so they do have a bit more of a sheen. Nice to see them sort of standing out against the sort of the more fabric brown colors here for the rest of his tunic. Of course, he's got a black glove here. He's got his brown boots. I really like the buckle details on his boots. Really cool. Nice clear attachment to the base there. I don't see any glue spillage, which is of course nice, because of course the new modern Funko figures are attached to the base. Certainly the Star Wars ones are. Originally you were able to sort of pull them off, but they are permanently attached now. I gotta say I do prefer it. We've got a nice straight Star Wars silver logo here printed on. Sometimes they can be a little bit too high or too low, or sometimes a little bit angled. This one looks particularly nice and straight. Of course, we can see the copyright details there on the underside, and he's got a really good head wobble. I don't always sort of talk about it too much, but sometimes I've spotted Funko figures where it feels like the spring is a little bit twisted, or it's been pulled, or somehow misaligned a little bit. Kind of gives them a little bit of a stretched neck appearance, and I do avoid it when I can. He looks really cool. It's just such a unique one. A really nice translucent red saber there as well. Some other toy lines, sometimes the red sabers do tend to be a little bit pink, and that never quite looks right. I like it when it looks like a true red, and we've got a really nice red color here on his lightsaber blade. Really quite sort of a fun pose there. And we've got his long episode 3 hairstyle here in the back. Just a really unique, interesting one. You know, when I was looking through the box, because it's a little bit darker in there, I didn't immediately notice that red lightsaber blade. I was just sort of looking at the face details like I usually do when shopping for Funko. And it just took me a moment to notice the red lightsaber blade. It's really cool. And of course, we've got that episode 3 scar. Really cool. So I recently opened up the Ahsoka Tano in her white Paradia outfit that came out in the same wave. And I know they're not actually worn together, but because they're from the same wave, I just thought it would be really fun to see these two side by side. So of course, after Ahsoka visits the world between worlds, she comes back and she has this new outfit that she wears on Paradia. So these figures came out in the same wave that just hit stores here in New Zealand. I was so excited. These were the two that I wanted the most from this particular assortment. So I was really happy to find these two. I have to say, as much as I love this Anakin, I think this one is the absolute standout from this wave. The details, the colors, the pose, she looks amazing. But yeah, these are such great figures. I'm so happy to have found both of them. And of course, I do want to go back and pick up the rest of this particular series from the Ahsoka series. Just some really cool characters. Of course, the other two include Sabine and Ezra. I love those characters. I want to pick them up. But, you know, alas, the budget only stretches so far. I'm sure I'll be picking them up the next time I visit my local Funko stockist. So these look great. I love to see that we are still getting Funko figures from the Ahsoka live action series. I wish that Funko would go back and release a few others from some of the other Star Wars live action series that didn't get a big release in the Funko lineup, like Andor. I'm really hoping that series 2 of Andor we will see more Funko figures, because they really didn't give us that much from the first series, and I do really like that show. But at least for now, we've got some really cool Ahsoka series Funkos, and I really can't wait to add these to my display. They look really, really cool. I love them both so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I opened up another Star Wars collectible, checked out all of the details, and had a lot of fun. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the galaxy, and let's hang out again very soon for more Star Wars fun. May the Force be with you. If you're a Funko Pop vinyl fan, I recently unboxed the Ahsoka Tano figure in her white Paradia outfit. That video is linked here in case you haven't already seen it, as well as a whole Funko unboxing playlist. This is the way.